Hello, this is SJ Talks and Life coming back at you with another video. If you're new to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, please, and thank you. Stop telling married folk, single people, married people, and child-free people what to do. Stop giving unsolicited advice to married, single people, and child-free people. That's what I want to talk about. Um, This is the couple on here, and I've talked about them. I've done a couple of videos about them, and I've talked about them before. Um, called Kings of Queens, the Kings of Queens channel. Um, her husband, Brett, her husband is a black lady, Rose Miller, and a white man, interracial couple. She had two children coming into the marriage, and they had two children. Um, they've been getting a lot of backlash here on YouTube. Um, and because she's a black woman, she's being stereotyped and stuff because she, make a long story short, did a video putting their business. She puts too much of their business out there, and she gets, as a result, gets a lot of backlash and publicizes their marital issues, and she's gotten, as a result, has gotten a lot of backlash. And the black manosphere is coming down on her, like they always do, about black women. And people are telling him to leave her because people are being stereotypical, as they always are. Black women, being very stereotypical of her, saying she's got an attitude and this and that and the other. They've explained. I've been watching their content, and they've explained many times. She just had a baby not too long ago, and they've explained many times that she's been suffering from postpartum depression and things like that, of that nature. Um, Black women suffer from the same things that every other woman. We're no different than any other woman. We deal with the same things that any other woman deals with. I have postpartum depression. We go through menopause. We get emotional. We get angry. We're human beings. Black women are human beings, and we have the same emotions as anybody else. I don't know why people come down so hard on black women for being basically the same, just being a woman, being a human woman, dealing with human woman things, just like any other human woman on the planet. I don't know why we get backlash for it. I don't know why we get trashed and criticized for it, being a woman, you know. But that's what they do to black women. And unfortunately, a lot of it comes from our own race of people, particularly our own race of men. And so they sit up here telling him that because she got attitude and all this kind of stuff, and all races of women have attitudes. I've worked with when I was in the workforce, I worked with lots of white women, and I worked with lots of white women that had attitudes. I encountered white women that have had attitudes. Okay, so other races of women as well. So black women are not the only race of women that have. All women have attitudes at certain times in the month, you know. So as I said, we get criticized and bashed and stereotyped for just being going through uh, the same things that any other female would go through. We get bashed and dogged for it. And so they've made it very clear that she's going through postpartum depression and just having some issues and everything like that. And married people have problems. I don't know. I've never been married, but I've heard um, from lots of married people that married people have sometimes get into arguments and disagreements, and it's just a part of being married. I've heard married people, we get into arguments or disagreement. Many married people have said that it's just a part of being married. is having arguments and disagreements and things like that. I mean, I had never been married, but I've been in relationships, and sometimes I would get into it with my boyfriend. I would sometimes we would get into it. Okay, we would get into arguments. So I'm imagining it's the same way in a marriage situation. And so the problem is that she put it out here on social media. There was times that she would put it out on social media, and then as a result, black men would say, "Well, tell Brett, her husband, that he needs to divorce her. He needs to divorce her. She a black one. She got attitude and all that kind of stuff." And then they would tell him that he needs to divorce her. People telling him he needs to divorce her. So just recently he came on and he did a video saying that, I love the video. I love that video. I really gave him a lot of props in that video. He came in that video and he said, I'm not going to divorce my wife. That's not what marriage is about. I made a commitment. I wanted a family, and I made a commitment to her, and I wanted a family. And he went into all that, and he just talked about her mental health issues, and he explained why she does the things that she does, because she's going through postpartum depression, was having some mental health issues or whatever the situation was. And he explained that. And then he, went into how I love my wife. I made a commitment to my wife. I made a commitment to our family, and I wanted a family. And then he went into some other things. And I was just really, after that video, it was a little short video, but after that video, I was very, very impressed. And I let him know in the comment section, and everybody, he got rave reviews in the comment section from everybody on that video. And he was very sincere. I picked up a lot of sincerity with him, and that's what I picked up, a lot of sincerity, and he was coming from a place of love, and that's what I picked up, from him. And he just explained, I'm not leaving my wife and everything like that. So people just need to mind their own doggone business. People need to stop telling folks to leave they mate. Marriage is, you make a covenant before God. You're not just making a covenant with this other person. You're making a covenant before God. It's a serious commitment. Marriage is a very serious commitment. And you're making not just covenant with that person, you're making that covenant with God. So you can't just because y'all have a few problems, you just pick up and leave. That's not how marriage works. That's why I was saying in my other video, my thoughts of being single over 50, that I didn't know, I didn't think, I wasn't sure I knew that I had what it takes to put into a marriage and keep a marriage going. The tolerance, the patience, all that kind of stuff. And a lot of people, because it's a serious commitment. I know if I make that commitment, I'm going to have to put all this into the marriage. I realize that, and I understand that, and if you're not willing to do that, the best thing to do is just not get married. You know what I mean? Because it's a serious commitment. And you can't just be ready to up and throw in the towel just because y'all have an argument or disagreement, or they getting on your nerves or whatever. You can't just up and throw in the towel and just say, I want a divorce. It doesn't work like that. Marriage is a serious commitment. And, just because you're having problems, you can't just up and marriage is between two people. Marriage is between a man and a woman. Biblically, it's between a man and a woman. And I know people think otherwise, but we're not going there. I digress. Biblically, from a biblical standpoint, marriage is between a man and a woman. And it Bible says forsake all others. Leave your parents and cleave to your wife. Forsake all others. And when you take those vows, you become one. You become one flesh. And this is what the Bible says. This is from a biblical standpoint. So marriage is a very, very serious commitment. It's a very serious commitment, and it ain't got nothing to do with nobody else. It ain't got nothing to do with nobody else. So, y'all need to normalize, stop telling folks to leave folks. Stop telling people to leave, to get a divorce and leave their mate, because at the end of the day, I don't get into married people's business. I stay out of married folk business. I stay out of, my sister is married, been married over 30 years, and I don't get in her business. I don't get in her business. I don't get in her business. And that anybody that's married, my friend is married, I don't get in her business. Same with my friend, she's married. I don't get in her business. Tell her what she should do with her husband and all. No, 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 no. I don't cross that line. I don't go there. I don't get in anybody's business. I try to mind my business. But I stay out of married folk business. Okay? I don't get into married. Oh, my niece is married now. My niece just got married. I don't get in her business. I don't get in her business. Okay? Telling her what they should do and all this kind of stuff. I don't cross that line. That's where I draw. I do not. The Bible says stay out. Okay, you can't get into married folk business. Stay out of married folk business. Okay? Stop telling people to leave their mate. Stop telling folks what to do. Stop giving married people unsolicited advice. You worry about your business. Worry about what's going on with what you got going on. Worry about your own house. I worry about what's going on at my house. What's going on with me. I don't get in anybody's business, but I really stay out of married folk business. I really don't get. I wouldn't fix my mouth to tell somebody they need to leave their mate, even if the mate is the person is cheating on them or whatever. Well, at the end of the day, that's their business. Because some women, their husband is cheating. She should have left him. The Bible says the Bible just says you can leave. You have scriptural grounds to leave if an event of adultery. It just says you have scriptural grounds. It didn't say you had to leave, because the Bible also talks about forgiveness. So you could, and how many times we need to forgive? 70, I can't remember, but it says we need to forgive quite a few times. So if this person chooses to keep forgiving, if the spouse is cheating, and this person chooses to keep forgiving them, then that's their business. It's their business. It ain't none of nobody's business. Or maybe they got an understanding. It's none of nobody's people's marital, and that includes celebrity marriages. Marital business is private. It's private. It's between them and God. It has nothing to do with anybody else. So y'all need to stop telling folks to leave their mate. He shouldn't have had to come on here and explain things and try to explain stuff and say, I'm not leaving my wife. Stop telling folks to leave their mate. You want him to leave her what? Because she a black woman and you think she got an attitude? That's your issue. That's your issue. Don't project your own issues onto some. That's your issue that you got a problem with black women. That's your issue. Stop projecting it onto him. That's your issue. So you don't tell people what to do. Stop telling married folks to leave they mate. Same with Simone Biles, because her husband came in. I wanted to mention that her husband came in on that thing and said that he was surprised or whatever the situation was. Oh Lord, people had a fit. People still talking junk about that, and a lot of people came and said that they told her to leave him. She made a vow with this man. You want her to leave him because he made a comment? Because he made a statement? That y'all don't agree with? That so many people told her to leave him. This is her husband. She loves him, and she made a vow to him. She made a commitment to him. And so many people said that you worry about what's going on at your house. How many times have your husband or wife said something to you that wasn't okay? You gonna up and leave them? See, people talk stuff about other people and always quick to tell other people what they need to do, but they know doggone well they wouldn't do it. You so quick to tell, they so quick to tell people, other people what to do, but they know doggone well if they had a mate and they mate said something that wasn't right, they know doggone well they wouldn't leave their mate because of that. But so quick to jump up and tell somebody else what they need to do. People got a lot of nerve. People have a lot of nerve. You know, leave folks alone. Leave married folks alone and stop telling married folks what to do. People's marital affairs is none of your business. Now that's married people. Single people, as far as single people, because I'm including single and child-free people in here too. Single people, I'm single. Lots of people are single. Lots of people are making a conscious decision to remain single. Everybody has their own reasons for wanting to remain single, okay? And stop telling single folks that, stop telling single folks that it's something wrong with them because they not married, or something wrong with them wanting to stay single. Stop telling them that, well, you must be bitter or whatever the situation is. Stop giving unsolicited advice to single people, single women, particularly if she's young. I look at some of the child-free channels and stuff, and some of the comments that come in those comment sections is just ridiculous. If a person is choosing to remain single and child-free, they're doing what's best for their life. And lots of people are making that decision now to remain single and to remain child-free. It's a personal decision, and some couples make that decision as a couple. And stop telling folks that, oh well, you need to go on and have at least one, or why don't you need to just shut up. You need to just shut up. Stop giving folks unsolicited advice, or telling particularly young single women that you need to go on and get married. You need to go on and get married before it's too late. It ain't never too late to get married. But then people make comments like that. Because I remember when I was working at this assisted living, not nursing home. I was working at this assisted living facility. And I was in my 40s at the time. And people were sitting up there telling me that, I need to go look for a husband. I said, no, he's supposed to come to me. I'm not supposed to. And that was at a time when I still wanted to get married. I still desired to get married. And people would sit up there telling me, you need to go look for a husband. I said, no, I'm not supposed to be looking for nothing. He's supposed to come to me. And I just got offended by that. I just got offended, all this unsolicited advice. Well, you need to go look for him. You need to go and no. I don't need to go and do nothing. He's supposed to find me. And I just after a while find myself getting really annoyed and getting offended. It's like, and irritated. It's like, stop, just stop, And because at the time I still had the desire to get married. It made me feel worse. It just made me feel worse. If a woman desires to get married and she's still single, people ain't trying to hear that. She ain't trying to hear that. She's not trying to hear, you need to go look for him, or you need to, or suggesting that she's doing something wrong because she's still single. People just need to stop. People just need to stop with that stuff. And I was very, very offended. Them giving this all this unsolicited advice. I was very offended by that. And it actually made me feel worse. It made me feel worse about being single, because people don't need to hear that, and child-free people, people have their reason. People that choose to remain single by choice, and people decide to remain child-free by choice, because there's childless people, and then childless is different. Childless is people, a person desires to have a child, but for some reason they can't. They haven't found a suitable mate, or they might have fertility issues. Child-free people are the people that are making a conscious decision that they don't want to have children. I have respect either or. I have respect and for either or. And so people just need to stop making these stupid comments. To like I said, I'm on some of the child-free channels, and the stupid comments, you'll change your mind and all this kind of stuff. And some of them be like, no, I'm not going to change my mind. It's like, just leave them alone. Just shut up. Just leave them alone. Having a child is a tremendous responsibility. It's a huge sacrifice. And being a parent is not for everyone. I raised two on my own, and it was very difficult. So even within a marriage is difficult. So having a child is not for everybody. And some people like to travel, they like to do different things, and they just are not willing to make that sacrifice. It's not being selfish. Stop calling child-free folks selfish. It's not being selfish. No, it's selfish if you bring the child here and neglect and abuse the child that because you didn't want it. That's selfish. That's selfish right there. So, or you refuse to take care of the child. That's selfish. Okay. So you refuse to support the child. That's selfish. No, that's not being selfish. It's just people are making these decisions about their life. They're doing what is best for them. This is what's best for them. They're making the decision that's best for them. Okay? And so it ain't got nothing to do with nobody else. So people just need to just mind their own business. Worry about what's going on at your house. I worry about my own life. I don't sit around and worry about what other people are doing. My neighbors, I had this elderly couple and they had some grandkids that lived one house down from me for years. They lived down there for years. And the husband passed away in 2020, I think it was. The husband passed away of COVID. I think it was 2020 or was it 2021? The husband passed away. And then after the husband, a year after the husband passed away, the wife passed away. They had been living that one house down from me for years. The man used to cut my grass. The husband used to cut my grass. Elderly white couple. Do you know I didn't even know these people's name? I didn't even know these people's name. I didn't even know what their name was. One of my neighbors that lived across the street, she sold her house and moved. When I seen her, she said, so, she was asking me how I liked the new neighbors that moved into her house. And then she brought up the couple, and she mentioned their name. And she said, oh, the Kiefers? I said, oh, is that their name? Oh, was that their name? I didn't know what their name was. And that's how much I mind my business. That is my neighbors that moved across the street a couple years back. I think a couple years ago. I don't know them. I don't know them. I don't know their name. Oh, now I do know my neighbor next to me and the one directly across the street from me. I do know her. I talk to them on a regular basis, but I know them and I talk to them and I go on about my business. I don't be trying to get all in their business and try to find out what's going on and all this kind of stuff and I'll be all up in their business. And, I do not know these people's name. I kind of felt bad. I said, that's June. But that's how much I mind my business. I mind my business. I worry about what's going on at my house. I don't worry about what's going on in folk marriages. I don't worry about if it ain't got nothing to do with me. I don't care. I got I worry about what's going on with June. I worry about what's going on in June's house. I don't worry about what's going on across the street, next door, or what they doing with it. What they doing. No, I don't do that. I'm not a nosy neighbor. You know, I don't care. I don't care what's going on at other people's houses. I only care about what's going on at my house. So I don't worry about, and I try to make it, I try to normalize not giving people unsolicited advice about their kids, about their marriage, about single, whatever. Their life decisions. When people make their life decisions, they're doing what's best for them. When people make these life decisions, they're doing what's best for them. And it ain't got nothing to do with you. It ain't got nothing to do with nobody else. You know, people just need to be worrying about their own life and focus on their own business and stop worrying about what other people are doing. You know, stop worrying about, folks are going to be, people, celebrity gossip, people going to be in the celebrity business a little bit. But the only time the only time I really talk about the celebrities is if I'm using it as a teachable moment. That's the only time I really talk about them. If I'm using what their situation as a teachable moment. I'm using it for commentary for teaching purposes. That's the only way I'll talk about it. But other than that, I don't talk about it. I don't talk about it. And then if something's in the media about a celebrity too much, after a while I get tired of hearing about it. It's not long. I'm so sick of hearing about. I'm not hearing about. I'm tired of hearing about this Diddy crap. This is ongoing. I get tired of hearing about it after a while, and then I'm ready to move on. Let's move on with life. Do what he got. Let the courts or whatever, government or whatever, do what they're gonna do. Let's move on with our life. Let's keep our focus and focus on. That's what that one video was about. So I don't just focus on what's going on with you. Stop telling married people, single people, child-free people what to do. Normalize not telling folks what to do. Normalize that. And I'm going to leave you with that. Mind your business. Worry about what's going on with you. I don't even get in my kids' business like that. Not really. If my son comes to me about something that's going on in his personal life, and he wants to ask for some advice or do some venting, then yeah. Other than that, I don't be all up in his business like that. I'm not a helicopter mom like that. So, they grown. Okay, so that's what I wanted to say. That was on my mind and my heart to say. So, hit that like, subscribe, and share, and the notification, and hit the comments, whatever. What are your thoughts in the comment section about people giving unsolicited advice to married people, single people, child-free people, whatever? People are making decisions what's best for their life. And what do you think about that? Them telling folks what to do. How do you feel when somebody try to tell you what to do about a decision that you're making for your life or your marriage or whatever? Hit me up in that comment section. Let me know. How does that make you feel? Does it make you angry? I know it pisses me off. Like, mind your business. Okay. To the next video. You guys be blessed.